These days there is no shortage of beautiful imagery. Perhaps because of that, beautiful doesn't have the same impact that it once had. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make photos with impact, with that little extra something. This video is very relevant for those of you who are into travel photography, but you don't need to travel anywhere. As you'll see, what I talk about is applicable even to photography of your everyday life.
Hey, I'm Mitchell. For the past decade, I've been living my dream, journeying around the world as a professional travel photographer. During this time, I've seen and I've learned a lot. And now I want to share the knowledge with you. Come along on the journey.
This is the first of a short series of travel photography tips that I will be sharing this week. There will be 2 more, and I'll tell you why I'm doing all of this towards the end of the video. Where am I now? I am in Ecuador. My family has finally joined me, and we came here all the way from Peru in very little time. They're tired, resting in a hotel, and I decided to drive off for a couple of hours to make this video for you.
Okay, so beautiful photos, technically great, but so few of them make us feel anything beyond, wow, that's beautiful. I'm guilty. These are my photos.
I think most would agree that they're beautiful, but is there much more to them than that? Will you remember any of them tomorrow? Photos with that extra something can be beautiful, but they don't need to be. So what do they need? What do you need to create photos with impact? Photos that are memorable. You need to know how to effectively use visual cues. Visual cues can be a whole bunch of things.
The dust kicked up by the camels, evoking the sense of the speed of the intensity with which they're running. This is a visual cue. The thick vapor which we associate with moisture, humidity, the cool colors in the scene. All of these are visual cues. The fire with the warmth that it creates is a visual cue, as is the violin hinting of music. This blurred truck suggestive of movement is a visual cue. And the traditional costumes that immediately speak of the importance of culture to these father and son. They're visual cues also. Visual cues are signals to our brains and to our senses.
They trigger memories, engage our imagination, and they can even make us feel a certain way.
They can evoke a sense of mood, place, time, weather, even a sense of story. So all sorts of things. You can find visual cues everywhere.
When you're photographing, when you're building your scene, ask yourself the question, what in the scene can instantly trigger the audience's memories, their senses? I do this every time that I'm out shooting. Here's one important thing though. Some visual cues have more impact than others. Including those impactful visual cues into the frame is like a shortcut to a powerful photograph. Here are a few examples. Anything clearly related to the weather is a strong visual cue.
So when I see anything that can make me feel the weather, like rain, raindrops, puddles, the fog, snow falling, or even a frozen mustache, I always try to work that into my photos. Weather is universal, instantly recognizable, and it's relatable. That's the key. The more clear and relatable the visual cue, the easier it is to trigger memories, associations, and to engage the senses.
Other things that instantly engage the senses.
Smoke, dust in the air, fire, vapor, any elements that are universal and clearly recognizable will evoke associations and will help us feel the scene.
With people, some obvious ones are elderly, wrinkled faces.
We can't help but think, what's this man been through? What has he seen? Striking eyes are another one. Some eyes are just hypnotizing. As the cliche goes, windows into the soul.
Expressions, gestures, anything that makes the viewer ask, what's going on here?
What are the girls so serious about? What story is he telling? Or a more extreme one, why is he in pain?
All of this is engaging the imagination, creating the sense of story, and making us feel.
Another fairly obvious visual cue can be what people are wearing. It instantly alludes to their culture, whether they're modern or traditional. If you're at all into travel, you'll probably recognize certain types of costumes and will be instantly transported to different parts of the world because those costumes have become representative of those parts of the world.
And one of the most powerful visual cues are hands.
This photo is one of my favorite examples. When you see this rough, soiled covered hand and then the horse and the plow, it's easy to make a connection. This is a man who lives off his land. A sense of story is created.
I used this photo as one of the examples in my course where I talk about visual cues and so many other things. And speaking of my course, it's summertime, I recently had my birthday, and I am having a special of over 50% off on the course for 7 days. When I hear that what I do inspires so many of you, it feels incredible. It's amazing to be able to connect over this passion that we all share for travel, for photography, here on YouTube, on my blog, on Instagram. I'm really happy that I can help so many of you develop this passion, but I can't physically answer all of the questions that I get. That's why I started creating these YouTube videos. That's why for the more in-depth stuff, I've created my course. Now, we come from different economies in the world, I know that. We're also in different financial situations in our lives. So once or twice a year, I make a special on the course. This year, I thought that this special would be a great excuse to create these short tip videos for you. I think that the topics are particularly important, so anybody sharing our passion should at least have some idea about them. The link to the course is on the screen now and in the description. I'll say no more. For all the information, just follow the link, and the next tip is coming on Wednesday, so stay tuned.